Yeah. Chitraji, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. Same thing we discussed, no, that day in Savitri session. Gurpreet ji told about that, seeing the thoughts and all as illusion. So same thing I found in Sri Aurobindo's writing, actually, same thing what we discussed. I will read that. Release from the desire mind and the emotional mind. The mental Purusha has to separate himself from association and self-identification with this desire mind. He has to say, I'm not this thing that struggles and suffers, grieves and rejoices, loves and hates, hopes and is baffled, is angry and afraid, and cheerful and depressed, a thing of vital moods and emotional passions. All these are merely workings and habits of Prakriti in the sensational and emotional mind. I will tell from which one here. Yes, I will tell you that. I think it is from SABCL. I'll just see. You can put it on the screen, no? Yeah. I will just find out. No, it is Collected Works of Sri Aurobindo, volume number 23, page number 350 to 53. The mind then draws back from its emotions and becomes with these as with the bodily movements and experiences. The observer or witness. There is again an inner cleavage. There is this emotional mind in which these moods and passions continue to occur according to the habit of the modes of nature. And there is the observing mind which sees them, studies and understands, but is detached from them. It observes them as if in a sort of action and play on a mental stage of personages other than itself, at first with interest and a habit of relapse into identification, then with the entire calm and detachment, and finally attaining not only to calm, but to the pure delight of its own silent existence, with a smile at their unreality, as at the imaginary joys and sorrows of a child who is playing and loses himself in the play. You can find out, Monica, actually, that SABCL. Yeah, this one, yes. Okay. Secondly, it becomes aware of itself as master of the sanction, who by his withdrawal of sanction can make this play to cease. When the sanction is withdrawn, another significant phenomena takes place. The emotional mind becomes normally calm and pure and free from these reactions. And even when they come, they no longer rise from within, but seem to fall on it as impressions from outside, to which its fibers are still able to respond. But this habit of response dies away, and the emotional mind is in time entirely liberated from the passions which it has renounced. Hope and fear, joy and grief, liking and disliking, attraction and repulsion, content and discontent, gladness and depression, horror and wrath, and fear and disgust and shame, and the passions of love and hatred fall away from the liberated psychic being. Yeah, actually that day we discussed, no? You remember that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But here he is mentioning even hopes, love, and also everything included, no, in that, actually. I'm not this thing that struggles and suffers, grieves and rejoices, loves. So that rejoice also due to pleasure. We should assume like that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It is
Rejoices.
passions of love. It is
Okay.
a different kind of love.
Yeah. Rejoices, loves and hates, hopes, and is baffled. Everything is coming from that desire mind. Okay, now I understood. Yeah.
I think for our ordinary human consciousness, this movement towards such a life would actually feel in the beginning like a very dry life.
Yeah, correct.
Shall I become a stone or something like that? But it's not like that. So in the beginning, we are so involved in the matters of each other that we think that this is life, extremely passionate or extremely moody. This is what life is for us usually. But I think this movement initially may feel that you are becoming very self-absorbed, and it may also appear like a numbness of a sort if you compare it to the earlier kind of the lifestyle. But then it's a gradual journey, I believe. Yeah.
But it's very difficult to find out whether that love or joy or that hope also from desire mind or it is from the inner thing, no? That is also very difficult to...
See, Chitraji, because mother has herself shared that imagine that you did something, huh? The moment you feel kind of, oh, something is let down in me,
Okay,
or
okay.
something rises up in the air. It's all the game of the desire soul.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
going
Right.
up in the
Yeah.
air,
Up in the air,
my
yes.
emotional
That
state,
elation. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that feeling of elation.
Yeah.
To meet somebody who you love, that feeling of elation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
I now understood.
and the
Yes.
letting down both are parts of desire soul.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
I think a kind of an equanimity comes, a kind of what you always use the word samta, a kind of a steady calm comes in you where you're neither too thrilled or you're not too sad also, and your emotions start to stabilize from those high tide and low tide, and you can feel that you have not felt so much joy, and you can feel that why am I not feeling so sad? I'm feeling little sad. I must shade better. But then I think what you call, Monica, समता, वो स्थिरता आ जाती है, and probably it goes towards this calmness.
Yeah, I think it's as we see for our individual lives, it's a thing in degrees. Like out of 100 times, now I see that okay, 1%, 2%, I am having that sthirta or samata. And then there are also other matters of my life where I'm not that stable, where they kind of sway me. So I think it increases with degrees, this kind of detachment and
Correct.
this pragyata, if I can say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, mother says that one should not be rushing that, oh my God, I have to reach somewhere, because this whole journey, the shades of it, that is the beauty, that you were 100% involved in the emotional ups and downs, and now you see that you are 1% out of it also, so that degrees itself is a beautiful kind of journey. It happens in time. Yeah.
And if you really want to rush, no, you will be pulled down. So
Pull
I
down.
have that experience. Yeah. Pulled down. You will be again grounded, no? Yeah, that is the beauty of the path.
There's this uh, Kabir bhajan
Hmm.
where he says, दौड़ झपट मेरी मटकी पटकी. So if I rush to fill up the water from the well, उसमें दौड़ झपट में मेरी मटकी जो है वो गिरी जाती है. पटक जाती है दौड़ झपट मेरी मटकी.
And between that rush and that intensity, there is a minor thin line only. That intensity should be there, but we should not have impatience, no?
Very true.
Yeah.
So
It
let
is
us,
really interesting, but it is a long, long path.
yeah.
Hmm.
So we can go through these lines maybe again a little, maybe see something more is there. So therefore, the mental Purusha has to separate himself from association. This is what we call Sakshi Bhav,
Okay.
witnessing Purusha. Huh? So what we refer to in English with the metaphor of blue sky and the clouds.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, I am undergoing sadness. Yes, there is sadness in life. You are not denying sadness. You are not denying sorrow or pain, but you're also able to see that I am standing a bit back from that sorrow, like a stepping back, mother says. So I am here and I see that yes, sadness is there. I am here and I see that a cloud of pain or suffering is there. I am here and I see that the mood has gone up and down. So you are again and again taking a stance as the blue sky of witnessing Purusha. So mothers also shares in when she talks about the psychic being, that what is one thing that has never changed in your life, and you would see that in all the ups and downs of your life you have been able to see all the ups and downs. So that seeing presence has never changed. That seeing has always been still, unmoving. And take your stance more and more as that seeing rather than the clouds that come and go. So that would be this, separating himself from the association and self identification with this desire mind. So, for example, if somebody has insulted me, I can completely go down, oh my God, how could this happen to me? Or I could say, okay, I feel let down, but I am here. So there is a separation from that mood. Yeah. Yes. And he has to say, I am not this. This is the process of, I would say, neti, as in Vedanta, I am not this thing that struggles and suffers, grieves and rejoices, loves and hates, hopes and is baffled, is angry and afraid, all the clouds on that sky. I am not that, I am not that, I am not that. Yeah. All these are merely workings and habits of Prakriti in the sensational and emotional mind. Beautiful. So this is the desire soul or the vital in process work. The mind then draws back from its emotions. This is a stepping back, and becomes with these, as with the bodily movements and experiences, the observer or the witness. So mind is taking a step back. There is again an inner cleavage. There is this emotional mind in which these moods and passions continue to occur. ये तो होता रहेगा, continue to occur according to the habit of the modes of nature. And there is the observing mind which sees them. So both can happen at the same time. Now this is very beautiful, because Sri Aurobindo at one point of time he shares that while he was going through deepest of his depression, he was able to give very beautiful advice to people who would come to him. So both the stances are present at the same moment in us, the observing Purusha, the observing mind, and also the conflicted, the desire mind or the emotional mind. Yeah. It observes them as if in a sort of action and play on a mental stage of personages other than itself, at first with interest and habit of relapse into identification. Now what is this matter? That I feel, imagine that I am addicted to a relationship. Now I have this habit of calling this person again and again, because I am just addicted with that person. I'm attached, too attached. So this is the relapse of identification, that I find my hand going down to the phone again. I find my hand going down to the phone again to call that person, although I want not to. So this is a relapse into the desire mind. This is a relapse into the emotional mind. At first with interest, firstly I'm completely involved in it, and habit also of relapsing back into that addiction. Then with entire calm and detachment. Now this comes owing to my own life experiences, where I see that that stupid addiction is not serving me well. It is not serving neither me well or the other person well. So let us force ourselves to a different way of life. It's almost a little bit of force that one has to apply.
Yeah, here, Monica, actually, yes, one part knows actually it is not serving me well. But the mind is playing the game, no, always, without, so that also can be watched. That's all, no? Okay.
Completely. Yes. Yes.
I found in my day-to-day life, an example is, say, I'll give an example. I'm with my husband, and then he says something unpleasant, and I shout, no, this is not to be done this way and all. But behind there is another, you're sitting, yeah, but you're not supposed to react this way. You just stay calm and watch the show. What's your problem? And then suddenly, you become quiet and you're watching. The shout has happened momentary.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're calm, and the front person thinks ये तो लूनी हो गई, अभी तो full gear में थी. And I think that voice, if we listen,
Yeah.
as it becomes more frequent, we'll stop.
Yes, yes. And that reaction that happens, even though we do not want it to happen, is the habit of relapse into identification. But then it can be shortened. The process can be shortened.
Yes, yes. My episodes have significantly shortened. I mean, I appear more and more loony now because they last a few seconds and then the calm phases increase. So, you suddenly realize, is this me? Yeah, I'm supposed to be shouting now, but it doesn't happen. You calm off. I got it.
Yes, yes, beautiful.
At that moment, it is not coming, no?
Yeah.
At that moment.
No, after
No, I
the
am
shout.
it, yeah.
Chitraji, what happens, I believe, is, we all have soft spots. And these soft spots are where we react very easily and very strongly. These are our weaknesses on which we have to work. There may be other fields in my life where I am able to have that calm and quietude at the first place itself, owing to the work that is happening. But there are still those places in my life, the moment something happens, I react. And this is my place of work. This is my Kurukshetra, as if, that this is my weak point, and here the work has to be intensified. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like at home, my husband teases me just for fun. Small things, minor things, not important. And he will say, when he will say, that moment I react. It is totally involuntary. Or I appear daft, whatever you can say. And then the realization does, nowadays, the voice does come more and more. I think we've got to nurture it. Do you think?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Correct.
I think so far we have been just nurturing the tendencies. So the first thing is that to stop fueling the tendencies, this stepping back, realizing that it's not serving us well. And then the fuel goes to the proper place, I believe. Yeah.
And also the beauty of these voices, inner voices, definitely immediately after that incident, it tells you.
Yeah.
I noticed it obviously actually. Then I questioned, why you are not telling me that moment?
Yeah.
Why you are not? Yeah. Because as you said, now I realize it is very thick. What I can say, it is very heavy. We can't hear that very feeble voice. We are not hearing. I feel so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Ravi, can you turn your camera properly, because half of your face is getting cut? Yeah.
Okay.
Better, better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Totally. So
Radhi, little more, little more.
you can do a little more here.
Okay.
No,
Towards your right side.
yeah, no, the other way. Ah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think when guilt and shame comes, that also has to be immediately rejected, because this is our process. Our process is from ignorance to light. So if I again and again fall into a trap of guilt and shame, oh my God, why am I still there? Why am I still there? I think that also drains a lot of energy, and stops our
Yeah.
focus on the correct thing. Yeah.
Correct. That is not happening actually nowadays when we are conscious. No, that drainage is not there. But the question is, yeah, we have to watch that. I mean,
Yeah.
as she said, it has to be nurtured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So let's go ahead a little.
Yeah.
Secondly, it becomes aware of itself as master of the sanction, who by his withdrawal or of sanction can make this play to cease. Now, this is the free will. This is the fueling. We think that tendencies are running by themselves. And it is a falsity, because tendencies are not running by themselves. I am the one who says, yes, yes, go ahead, like that. Yes, yes, you're right, go ahead. So this is a sanction that I give to the tendency. And now I see that I don't want to give this sanction, and I can withdraw this sanction. When the sanction is withdrawn, another significant phenomenon takes place. The emotional mind becomes normally calm and pure. Now the mind is developing a taste for a calmness. Earlier it had a taste for playing out of all that melodrama and emotional here and there and all that. Now the mind is having a radical shift. It is having a taste for silent and peaceful attitude. Now this is a radical shift of the mind when the sanction is withdrawn. The emotional mind becomes normally calm and pure and free from these reactions. And even when they come, they no longer rise from within, but seem to fall on it as impressions from outside. Now, Sri Aurobindo says that a sadhak on the path has to, first of all, realize that the desires are not a part of his being. Slowly he has to kind of externalize the desires, that it is something not innate to its nature. And here I see exactly that point, that now when the emotional melodrama will come to me, I will see it as coming from outside, like an outer force which I can easily reject. It's not part of my true being. Now this becomes a little more easier. Earlier I was seeing that my mood is my mood, I am moody. Now I see the mood is kind of coming from outside, as if this adverse force is coming from outside. So I can reject it. I can immediately not give fuel to it. This is really very beautiful. Yeah. To which its fibers are still able to respond. So abhi bhi wo movement hoga zara sa. It's not that I will absolutely become numb to the melodrama. Still a lot of halla gulla may be rising in the being, but this habit of response dies away. Now this is what we say, old habits die hard. So it's an old habit of the vital, and it takes time to die down or completely fade away to calmness. Yeah. Dies
Well,
away.
it
Yeah.
seems to me part of this is, in order to not give the sanction, then from early in the week when we had the discussion about being fully with yourself, like the willingness to just stand by, whatever I go through. And I think it was in the harmony circle that we talked about, being fearless or shameless, like shamelessly standing by myself. And that phrase, shamelessly, has often come into my mind in these last days, because I notice I can fall into that very example you used, of picking up the phone and calling that one person, the very person I'm not supposed to be calling really for this practice, right? And it's only from, again, constantly abdicating from being kind of king of my own kingdom. Or if we draw the thread of Dr. Sumitra Basu talking about the psychic being coming forward as the king of the kingdom, then again, it's like not being accustomed to what that feels like, right? What's the habituated state of being if my psychic being has come forward, is in charge of the kingdom. It's synonymous with standing with me for myself, and then therefore not giving the sanction that he's talking about. But all those first steps don't happen, and then the sanction seems to automatically come just as a really bad habit.
Yeah. So, Swapna, the opening of the psychic happens in degrees. It's not that you are missing something which you are not able to open in yourself. A psychic being is not a thing. It's not a thing that, like a speaker is a thing. So as if you are not able to reach the speaker, oh my God, when will I reach the speaker? It's not like that. And I told you that the receptivity, the ability to understand, the ability to discern, the ability to take action out of viveka, all this is coming only from the psychic. So it is active right now. Yeah. So don't feel that the psychic hasn't opened and how can I do that? Psychic is already open. That is why you are on the path. It is not possible for you to be on the path if psychic is not open to divine. Psychic.
I'm coming from, say we keep with the example of what you're saying, like when one gives the sanction, say in your, I love the pettiness of your example because it's so apt, right? It's petty, but it's like something I do. So making that phone call, right, when I shouldn't, where I guess I'm going to, okay, if the psychic is alive and active, then where is it in that moment? Or, you know, in Josnaji's example of answering back to the partner,
Yeah,
right? Angry.
I have a hint here for you. If the psychic was not completely in action, completely, even in degree, would not be in action, you would actually have made that phone call and would not be thinking about it.
Oh no, I made it, but then
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the aftermath.
How do you feel after making that phone call? Again, check. How do I feel after making the phone call?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then I go, oh, okay, I gave the sanction, right? And now there's the awareness of like, okay, I did that thing.
Exactly.
And then here I am in the, you know, the kind of all the dust being blown up in my face and the storm happening around. Oh, it's not really a storm, but just the feelings in myself, right? Like now, left with my reaction, right? As opposed to the piece, as opposed to what is being hinted at in this passage.
Yeah.
Right? Like this, it ends with from the liberated psychic being, just like the lack of liberation, right? Like that's what it boils down to. It doesn't really matter everything else. They can be hurt feelings, there can be rejection, but there can be a reaction to it from my ego and my vital. But ultimately, at a deeper level, like what's the thing that's missing? And that's that feeling of freedom or liberation that would come from not having given the sanction.
Yes, yes. So you are the wall, Swapna. The psychic is right here. The sun is right here, but I am like a brick wall. I am like a brick wall. And I'm saying, why is the light not coming? The words may appear a bit too harsh and directly on the face, but this is it. I am the wall around the psychic. Break. Allow it space. Psychic is not gone anywhere. Just like mother says, I do not go anywhere. You run away from me. This is what the mother says. 1,000 times she has said to Huta Didi in White Roses, you run away from me. What do you talk of adverse forces? Adverse forces. You indulge in thinking which disturbs you, and then you say that mother, you are not there with me. How stupid. So psychic works right here 24/7, but I am like a wall. I am not ready to break so easily. What can poor psychic do? It cannot force because there is a free will. There is a free will with the wall. When the wall says, okay, now I have done my job, I have bled enough, I have wounded enough people and myself, now my task is over. Then the wall shatters down and the psychic comes in front. But when the wall says, no, 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 there is still some more rasa I want from this, let me have it first, then what can psychic do? Psychic cannot do anything. So psychic or the mother is one thing. Either you stay with the mother or you stay with the psychic. It's just one thing. Either you stay with discernment, viveka, or you stay with the mother. It's one thing. It's not different things. So nobody is stopping you but you yourself from getting your psychic liberated. All the blessing and grace is right here 24/7 with us. 24/7. But only when we are convinced. Why? Because the surrender is free surrender. It's a free will based surrender. Yeah.
You know, like the beginning of the next paragraph says, right? Like what takes their place. That's exactly where I was going in my mind, you know, like listening to you saying, okay, the wall blocks it. Yes, I'm my own wall blocking me from my own psychic's influence. But it may be, if we will, right, that paragraph, if we will, an entire calm, silence, and indifference. If we will, an entire calm silence. Now, calm and silence, when they touch in, there's a pleasantness about them, a comfort. But it's the indifference. I think that's the piece when the indifference seems to come, especially now, because it's in a way I'm unaccustomed to remaining in a state, right? Which hasn't got the drama and the rasa of suffering or worrying or whatever. So then the indifference can feel so empty. But it's just getting accustomed to, even in being present with the indifference, then there's room for it to shift into calm or stillness or,
Yeah.
something that feels more fulfilling.
Yes, yes, totally with you, Swapna. That is what we were sharing in the beginning, that this self-absorbed state that we begin to now live in, not interfering, poking into others' matters, no matter the other is my own sister or my own sibling or spouse, doesn't matter. This actually appears very weird to the older consciousness. No, it seems that no, this cannot be it. No, am I numb or have I become a stone? But this is how it appears in the beginning, because the mind is so used to poke into each other's affairs that we are not used to live like this. We are used to live like this, hankering after each other, poking affairs
Yeah,
all the time. So now
yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah.
this appears very weird. So it takes a bit of a time that I get used to this newer way of living, and slowly I realize that this is healthier. This is healthier.
Then only can the true love can pour upon us, no? Because we won't become dry or indifferent to other people, but we will feel that sensitiveness and loving, compassion, everything will be there, but we won't interfere. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
very rarely that feeling will come, but we should increase that actually.
Yeah, yeah. Ramana Maharishi also, I read a quote from him. He says, absolute non-interference in the matters of others. This is what he has to say. So I think we can do that. We can do that because most of the things where we interfere, they just lead to rubbish. They lead to more entanglement.
Yeah,
And wherever one can help, really sincerely, the help
yeah,
be extended, then it would be very obvious. Like it would be effortless going out and helping the other person. But
correct.
really, the emotional and mental state we are in, by our talking out, we are not helping anyone, usually. So we better remain calm and silent and go through all the emotional upheavals in the remaining with ourselves,
Yeah,
by ourselves. Yeah.
correct. Because of the rasa only. The rasa is there. It became very normal for us, actually. We won't even think it is, it is the rasa of the ignorance. We think it is very normal. That is the problem. But every event is happening to point out that actually. Once you psychic is there, because of that only we are really started thinking about it. No, yeah. Maybe it's a small flame, maybe it is a bigger flame, or it is a being. Definitely that psychic spark is there. That is why we are all here. Actually, yeah. That is true.
Absolutely. Yeah. This yearning for clarity in life, this yearning for more uh, clarity and understanding in life, this is coming from psychic. This is coming from psychic. Why do I want clarity? Why am I not okay with confusions? No, why do I want to have a resolution in my life? This wanting to resolution have a resolution in my life so that I can be at peace. This yearning is the yearning of the psychic. So it can be said in different ways, and many a times it appears, the way things are portrayed, it appears that psychic is a treasure that I will find. So, it's not like that, like like we find objective treasures. It's not like that. Yeah. Yes. This is really beautiful, this passage. Is this from Synthesis of Yoga?
This is, I have one book actually.
Yeah, Synthesis of Yoga part 1. Usme se hai.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. This book I now only am touching.
Hmm.
This 1 year period, no, after this lockdown made me go through all the books.
Yeah.
Really, it is all wonderful journey now.
Yeah. Anyone, anything to share, or we
Yeah,
can,
yes.
anyone?
I started to read on faith
Hmm.
because that is one thing that, should not waver with us. So, but it is so exhaustive and it is so interesting. I'll just read little bit and then you take it over. It's types of faith. If you just type faith in the incarnate way, it's the first thing that comes. Mental faith combats doubt and helps to open to the true knowledge. Vital faith prevents the attacks of the hostile forces or defeats them and helps to open to the true spiritual will and action. And physical faith keeps one firm through all physical obscurity, inertia, or suffering, and helps to open to the foundation of the true consciousness. Psychic faith opens to the direct touch of the divine and helps to bring union and surrender. Faith, belief, confidence, trust. Faith is a general word equal to Shraddha, that is, the soul's belief in the divine's existence, wisdom, power, love, and grace. Confidence and trust are aspects of faith and results of it. There are two kinds of faith: the faith that calls down the equanimity and the faith that calls down the realization. To get entirely free from these limitations, one must reach the transcendent divine. Faith and knowledge. Faith is a thing that precedes knowledge, not comes after knowledge. Ramakrishna even went so far as to say, when asked whether blind faith was not wrong, that blind faith was the only kind to have. For faith is either blind or it is not faith, but it is something else. Reasoned interference, proved conviction, or ascertained knowledge. It's very concentrated, but it hits. And then, of course, ahead is one thing I found a little peculiar, Monica, you will be able to clarify. Incarnate word in uh, the laptop, in the Mac Air, and in the iPad, open different stuff. And I hunted and hunted to make both meet because I cannot read on this, but it did not.
Interesting.
The settings and everything. You put both, iPad gets something else, and the Mac got. So what I am reading here is different from what I actually read.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Of course, in this, then they say ahead on doubt and faith, and the one on faith and Shakti is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Faith and Shakti is from Synthesis of Yoga.
Acha.
Complete, yeah,
I think so. Yeah, very nice chapter. Yeah, very nice chapter. It is just before Mother enters in, but actually Sri Aurobindo brought forward all the faith in divine Shakti, not with the underlining word Mother, but we can understand. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful chapter it is. Yes.
You read it, Monica.
Yeah,
आप
actually,
पढ़िए.
Jyotsna ji, what you read now, I think it was just in bits and pieces, so I'm not able to really get to the exact.
That is on the iPad. If I move out from here, I will be able to get the.
So what you liked was this mental faith, the starting from mental faith that you were reading.
No, it is in the laptop. I'll let me see if I can go to it.
No, that is different. Yes.
Acha.
I don't know how to go into the laptop's screen, you know.
So you want to find that faith and Shakti thing?
No, it is very beautifully written.
The faith and Shakti?
No, it is in the beginning when you just type faith on your laptop,
Yeah.
it is not starting like this. It is starting differently, just in small letters. In small letters. G.
Okay. So two kinds of faith.
Yeah, see, this is different. And in the iPad, it comes different.
Okay, let us.
What you showed now.
Okay.
No, go down. No, up right at the beginning.
Yeah, I think I'll just reach that place जो अभी दिखा रहा था ना.
हाँ.
एक मिनट.
No, you had got it just now.
अच्छा ये आ गया था.
Go down. Yeah.
Beginning, no? Beginning, yeah.
Beginning.
Beginning तो ये है.
हाँ उसके ऊपर
उसके
ऊपर
ऊपर ऊपर.
हाँ
The
Yeah.
general
No,
और
not this.
Yeah.
और
अभी
ऊपर
आपने सिखाया.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. Faith is a general word, Shraddha, the soul's belief in the divine.
no
No.
Monica typed that faith again and that's what comes then that in small letters
Small
as you
letters.
said no yeah
तो ये मैंने किया था ना ये ये.
हाँ तो ये आ गया अभी
Stop.
हाँ just stop there are two kinds of faith it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
come
हाँ.
Yeah, this
See,
one, yes.
but
Yeah, yeah,
stop.
correct. Yeah,
Go back to the beginning.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you. See, in this, uh, he says, Ramakrishna even went far, so far we read that. After that, what I mean by the central faith is a faith in the soul or the central being behind, a faith which is there even when the mind doubts and the vital despairs and the physical wants to collapse, and after the attack is over reappears and pushes on the path again.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I was so inspired and then I couldn't find it on the iPad. See, in this it will say types of faith. Mental faith combats doubt and helps to open to the true knowledge. Vital faith prevents the attack of the hostile forces or defeats them and helps to open to the true spiritual will and action. And physical faith keeps one firm through all physical obscurity, inertia, or suffering and helps to open to the foundation of the true consciousness. But psychic faith opens to the direct touch of the divine and helps to bring union and surrender. The circumstances under which we have to work it out are those of an inferior consciousness, in which things can be distorted by our own ignorance, weaknesses, and mistakes, and by the clash of conflicting forces, which is what we indulge in all the time. That is why faith and equanimity are indispensable. We have to have the faith that in spite of our ignorance and errors and weaknesses, and in spite of the attacks of hostile forces, And in spite of any immediate appearance of failure, the divine will is leading us through every circumstance towards the final realization.
Yeah. The last paragraph is also very nice.
It's very beautiful. The conclusion that I could draw out of all this is that it is we who are lacking in that complete faith. It's just a question of, having that faith, equanimity. We have to keep tokoing it into ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So this first line, mental faith, huh? I was just kind of going over it again. Mental faith combats doubt and helps to open to the true knowledge. Now, Mother and Sri Aurobindo both have said that when the mind space is absolutely calm and quiet, then the knowledge dawns in that receptacle. So I'm just using my own words, just kind of rephrasing them. So this is, I think, our task then, that how to maintain a calm mind space so that mind serves as a receptacle for higher knowledge rather than the churning of same kind of level of consciousness. So usually we are so clouded by our mind all the time that there is hardly any space for the higher knowledge to dawn, the intuitions to dawn, to insights that or the true knowledge to dawn. Now my task as an individual is to maintain a faith that all that needs to come will be shown to me, and hence let me always take care of this inner space of the mind, that it's clean, neat and tidy, so that whenever the higher knowledge is needed, whenever the direct perception, direct knowing is needed, I have space available in that container. This is what that would then combat doubt, because doubt would come when I'm obsessively thinking about things, when I go in loop, thinking, and the mind is then cluttered with thinking. The mind remains cluttered and hence in doubt. So my mind, my job is not to entertain those thoughts which are absolutely disturbing in nature. Going and buying a bread is a harmless thought that I can entertain, but the obsessive thinking that we indulge in about future, about the past, about our emotions, that has to get stopped. And vital faith would be, usually emotional. uh, as emotional beings, we always need a handicap of another person, of another situation, of a few kind words. So this is the emotional handicap that we have, huh? And when I am vitally now progressing on this path, I believe that now I know that, okay, whatever is needed will be given through the divine to me. So this emotional handicap that I act for again and again, this I'm stopping. I'm abstaining from having that handicap. Now this will comprise of, I believe, vital faith, that all that I need, the emotional support, everything will come from the divine. Now this will prevent the attacks of hostile forces. What are the hostile forces? When I take those actions which actually are coming from my want to become emotionally dependent on other people, this opens up a field of hostile forces where I get bleeded, I bleed again, I get wounded again, I get hurt again, but somehow I can't stop myself. So now I begin to stop myself. This would be vital faith. Yeah.
Yeah, but the mental faith, no, I feel only the vital emotions, desires, fears, these are all vital, no, actually. fear, desires, emotions, all emotions. From that only the mind is taking and producing the thoughts. I feel like that. I don't know whether it is correct or not, because the thoughts are always connected with those emotions, with those desires, with those fears. The thoughts are arising.
Yeah, yeah. I think kind of a it's kind of a duel or a
Yeah.
duel game that is happening.
Yeah.
So the mind is using thoughts to create all those fears, anxieties, and worries, which
Okay.
later come as sensations in the physical body. So they get lodged as feelings and sensations in the physical body. But I think it first enters through the thought. It first enters through the thought. I entertain the thought very heavily. I make it my life. I make it my life. Then it becomes a strong sensation, feeling, and then what we call as fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, it kind of lodges itself in me. Hmm? So
Because sometimes I feel the physical is more cooperative and more open. This really supple and plastic sometimes, but the thoughts, which is taking all the vital emotions and producing the non-stopping thoughts, actually, yeah.
exactly,
That,
exactly.
yeah.
The physical is ready. We see with children.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
children, they fall down, they get up again. If
Yeah.
the adult is not hankering too much, oh my God, how did you, kind of go down, and are you hurt? Are you hurt? So this is how we make it heavy for the child. But the child, owing to the fact he is mostly in the physical and psychic consciousness, he is very ready to get on moving. He doesn't indulge in that misery.
Yeah, so is that one of the examples of what the current situation is now, Monica? Is that something that we can like sort of understand also? Take this as an example, because wherever you turn and look, it is also about this, but it is about corona, right? And so what, it's like a two-way street, so I think, and therefore it affects my vital also sort of takes in, and these thoughts accumulate, and it affects both ways. So is that something that we can take this as an example just to
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking just yesterday only that imagine that I did not know all the knowledge from the Google and internet and WhatsApp, that this is, oh my God, this is very deadly and this is corona and you should. If all that knowledge is not with me, I can actually go through peacefully with it also, just like a flu. But owing to the fact that this is a phase of social media, everywhere on Facebook, everywhere on WhatsApp, you see only these messages popping out, and it does enter me, it does affect me. And when it happens to me, then instead of going in calm through the process or the disease, I go through it in restlessness, because I can't help it. I have heard so much about it. So absolutely, yeah.
I would say there are two ways of looking at it. One is you take fear and panic, and you get worked up, and then you work up the other members of the family or those near and dear to you. The other way is you've heard about it, you've seen it in the media, you're seeing it all around, they keep bombarding at you every day, and then you realize, okay, I got the knowledge. Now it's up to me to keep my calm, not let fear enter me, not let this affect me, but I have an awareness that yes, my neurological system will be affected, my eyes will be affected, I'll get a fungal infection, I could lose my sight and vision. Fine, fair enough. If somebody asks you, yes, it's a possibility. But in fact, I felt that because we know the complications and are aware of them, we are geared better to fight them, because there is a calm which comes in you and you don't give in to that panic or the fear. So it is up to us. Finally, the onus is on us that we realize that, nahin, पैनिक होने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. जब आएगा तो the main thing, whenever anybody asks me, अरे मुझे कोरोना हो गया, अब मुझे क्या क्या करना चाहिए, I said the first thing, no fear and calm. You know, a lot of kids in the ashram are also getting it, and some people contact, some kids, relatives contacted me. All I said was this, and actually calmness worked. They were coughing and crying and scared that they will die. And I said, you're not going to die, but provided you don't get the fear, why are you afraid? You tell mother that, mother, you take my fear away. And it actually, I think we have to change our mindset.
Yeah, totally. You know, होता क्या है ज्योत्सना जी, जब पहले, if I'm not used to a quietude or an inner poised life earlier, immediately in the challenge एकदम से होता नहीं है. So I don't even know what are you saying? You are saying not to have fear. I am drenched in fear. How is this possible that I can retain my calm? And that is why, you know, Kabir ji has said that if you do not सुख में सुमिरन ना किया, दुख में करते याद, कहे कबीरता दास की कौन सुने फरियाद. So now calm and quietude is not going to dawn right now in the middle of the challenge. So why not make it a habit, you know, remaining inner poised, remaining, having a faith, having calm and quietude in the being. That should actually become a normal way of living rather than the normal restless way of living that anything can happen anytime. Oh my god, oh my god, you know. So otherwise वो एकदम से ना होता नहीं है, unfortunately.
Yeah, today Alugda also uploaded a talk about the thoughts actually. In this, he particularly said it is not enough to pray that this pandemic should go away. You should pray for you should come out of that ignorance first, as you said, ignorance. Yeah, because the pandemic, no, we can't say, no, this is this virus. Next, well, some other virus will come. What we can do? Yeah, we have to come out from the ignorance first. It is a total fear factor.
I am convinced that if we eliminate fear in the present scenario, fear, panic, and transmitting fear to one another. And do you know this happened to so and this happened? If each of us at our level, you know, become a little aware, help each other, that look, these are the places you can go to, these are the things available for your city, this is what can be done. Keep your calm. I think 50% illness will reduce if the fear factor goes. Because mother always says,
Absolutely.
mother always said, no, fear invites the illness. The thought of the illness, just the mere thought, invites the illness in. So why?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and mother has also given this little kind of a instruction of calling peace. Actually, I think that is really powerful, very powerful.
Yeah.
And the way I used it in one of the talks that I gave, I think I'll just use that metaphor again. So imagine that there is a lot of chaos in an audience hall, and people are waiting for a speaker to come. All people are chattering with each other, you know, things that go on in an audience hall. Now, immediately, a being full of peace, heavy with peace, he enters the room. The moment he enters the room, the whole audience is so absorbed in his beauty that it shuts down. Now, no monitor is needed in the room. All the monitors have been failing so far. But the moment we call this heavy, I would say peace has a heaviness, like it has an authority. Peace has an authority. So if we are able to kind of instill that authority in my being, the whole physical being, at a day-to-day level, even now, whether we are affected or not affected, whatever the state is, I think, as you were saying, Jyotsna ji, that it actually reduces also the symptoms and also, you know, the intensity of the disease, because now the authority, the supreme authority of stillness has come and dawned in the being. Now nothing will move, before it decides to move itself again. So this is what we need, absolutely with you, completely with you, that with fear it's going to get just worse, and with peace and quietude in the being, I can actually go through like a experiment for myself, that okay, let me see what all I can do with fear. Can I use the power of peace and stillness, or can I not? So we can actually experiment in this time. Yeah, totally.
I told two teenage girls 2 days ago, I said, just take out fear. Because if you get fear, and I come to know you're getting fear, and I feel that you're getting fear, I'm sending you to the hospital for admission, where you will see lots of people dying and stuff like that. And said, no, we don't want to go there. So I said, then don't be afraid. You fight. And today they are playing outside. So it is, I think we use it less, but I think it's underestimated. It's an
Under
underestimated power.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल अंडर एक्चुअली दिखती नहीं है ना, दिखती नहीं है, स्पीकर दिखता है, लैपटॉप दिखता है, सब कुछ दिखता है, पीस दिखती कहाँ है? So we are so absorbed in the sense world, sense mind, that we underestimate, absolutely with you, the power of peace and stillness. We underestimate its power.
Because
Absolutely.
in this pandemic, what is required is faith, is peace, and actually is surrender, that you're the almighty power. Forgive us for what wrong we have done. I mean, we played with earth. So, but that humility is not coming.
Yeah,
Each one of us with our families can feel it. I feel that we should bring in calm. What
totally.
do you say, Nandini?
Yes, so I think this has been a topic pretty much in everybody's home, and you do tend to talk about it because if somebody's calling you, then yeah. So one of the things that was there, that see, even the mere fact, I think the peace will also come when you have the acceptance that something like this is in your vicinity. Because so the thing is, it also happens, right? It has happened to a couple of people over here, and see, some have accepted it, that it has happened to me, and I'm now willing to make that that choice of becoming better with it. All right. And there's also where it has happened to somebody and they are in denial still, that how can it happen to me? So the minute it becomes how can it happen to me, then I think the fear automatically then gets more and more instilled, right? So these are things that I think as an observation, this is what has been, yeah, because see, some people have sailed through it, some people have it is, yes, and then of course what you have. So for me, I mean, this last week onwards, I have I don't know if anyone of you has read, but I've started reading Robert Schwartz's Soul Gift. And the way he explains, right, even about your whatever in terms of disease or in terms of karma or things like that. So very simple statements, but these are things that are so uh, that it sort of strikes you at some points and allows you to sort of reflect on it, and then you observe. So I think we are all in that, I mean, I can tell someone to be peaceful, but it's important how will they, look at it from, because if I'm not going through it or you're not going through it, it's very difficult to explain to someone, like how do they feel about something like this. But yeah, it's a constant practice. So that's what even for me, that is what I have understood. Thank you.
One example that came to my mind when you all were talking, I forget the name. I think it was in Australia. A person used to look after elephants. a whole herd of elephants under his care. And one day they got somebody pulled the trigger and they got randy, they got very angry. And a herd of elephants getting angry is disaster because they can finish off a whole village. This man, fearless, calm, and in total peace, went there in front of them and he just stood. He stood and he started to play music. There is a video on this, and all the elephants calmed down and went on their knees. He was absolutely fearless. He didn't speak to them, he didn't say anything. But they say that the power of peace, and I always remember this example that if you are calm, you'll probably dispel.
This reminds me, mother also gives this example when she was crossing a forest with people. It was a meditation time, and she said, no, I have to meditate, I have to sit and meditate, while other people said that, no, you go ahead with us, it's not the right time. And then she sat down in the forest, there was no one with her, and she closed her eyes, and suddenly she realized that there is something, kuch garbad hai, aaspas kuch hai. She opened her eyes slowly and she sees that there is a tiger kind of staring at her. And then she says that I did not do anything, I just remained absolutely still, calm, and I closed my eyes again. And after some time I opened, I was still alive, and the tiger was gone. So yes, it has inherent power. Peace has a lot of power. Yeah. Lot of us can experiment with this. If we are convinced, I think we can experiment in lots of domains, if fields in our life, with peace.
I came face to face with a panther, the spotted one, cheetah. And he was just about 4 feet away. And then I looked at him. I was walking alone at about 6:45 in the morning. And I said, Kya yaar, mera chashma, I need to get my glasses changed. I took it off, I cleaned it. And I said, you Billy, you are looking like a huge fellow. And you're actually just a cat. And I put my glasses again. Again, that huge face was staring at me. And I said, okay, now you just go away. It's enough. I'm not scared of you. And the leopard and the cheetah, no, the spotted fellow, he jumped up and went onto the tree on top and sat above my head. I came home and I called my dad, and he told me that they have a memory for location. And do you go there every day? I said, yes. I realized that because I had no fear, I didn't panic, I didn't run. Totally unaware, blaming my spectacles, and it just passed.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes.
It actually this happened about 5-6 years ago.
Beautiful. Yeah. So anyone else, anything, any last comments to share? Badal ji or Swapna, Jaspal ji has joined us for the first time. If there is anything you want to share.
I think I was noticing that how if you're not in India, then if you're in another country, in my case where I am, it's not in my face the COVID situation as it is there, and then how the mind, the vital will just jump on whatever else.
Yeah.
So the principle of needing to practice whenever one gets a chance, whether it's in the face of an emergency and something that just seems really dire and everybody's talking about it and it's in social media. And I was in India, I just came back like 3 weeks ago. So in the beginning, even that affected me, right? Like, oh, I just left India and look what's going on back there. All my parents that are still back there. But then I think there is something about getting the right balance between how much information from the outside I put in myself because the foreign media is full of it, right? If you go to the New York Times or even the Austrian local networks, or people even, saying, or just being a little bit like those monkeys, eyes over the hands over my eyes, ears, and mouth. And just like, in order to be quiet, in order to access peace, just limiting, not just about COVID, but about anything, even my own thoughts that want to create the drama, that want to lead to basically my giving the sanction from the first passage we read, right? Like my giving the sanction to anything that's not quiet or peace. As soon as the unquiet, the disquiet, whatever the word is, the opposite of quiet happens.
Yeah.
And
Swapna, parallelly, we have to absorb ourselves in something full of light, beauty, illumination, anything worthy of doing. Parallel has to be done. So I cannot say that, oh my, I want to kind of shun everything away and I want to keep myself limited knowledge. But the mind does not like to be left all by himself. It's not used to that. So the thoughts will come again, the thoughts will jump on you again. So that's why we say that give yourself something worthy of doing. It may be reading words of Sri Aurobindo, mother, developing a new skill.
That works when one has that time. But say you're at work, or you have work to do, whether it's here, right? It's even household. There's like more household. Well, I think in India, a lot of people don't have the normal domestic help. But anyway, here there's even, say, something, whether it's at paid work or household work, or something that's just more straightforward, right? But it requires the mind and attention. That's when I notice this parallel channel, right? And then when I can't, at least in my case, I can't always go and read Mother and Sri Aurobindo's book or do something that I would rather be doing that's more worthy. So then I was noticing, like, okay, at that moment, what can I be doing? What can I be giving myself in order to access the peace? One
thing, Swapna. So nowadays we have access to audio talks. We have access to YouTube talks. So now, see, it's like we are de-addicting a mind. De-addiction does not happen in a day. So I have to give it something else which will remove the earlier addiction, which is the addiction of abusive thinking. Now, what am I doing? I am working in my kitchen, and there is, in my ears, there is talk of alokda or anything that is going on, anything that does not stick to me, which disturbs my mind. Because talks of full of light and illumination, what they do is, they are not like abusive thoughts. They go into you, they cleanse the body while you were doing the dishes, and they have done their job. They have worked like acid in your body. So I think this can also be used. And after you have done with your dishes, you appear, you take off the earphones and you say that, oh, I feel much better now, I feel lighter now. Something has changed. I don't know what has changed, but something has changed. So this can also be used when we are doing mechanical works like jhadu lagana, or doing dishes and whatever, the household. This is just one idea. Yeah.
So, just to add to that, Swapna, so one of the things that, even if it's an easy, it's something that you could do easy. It's like just a couple of days, there was another talk. And so it's, I think Osho has written it somewhere that you just, when you're doing your daily practices or you're doing your daily chores, you just looking out the window, or, we forget because like this every day, during the summer in Bangalore, whatever little summer we have, the parrots all come out, and they all come and sit on this TV wire that is outside our window. And it's something that I look forward to every morning, because they come and chirp, and they have their little sweet noises that they make. So it could be anything. I have a teenage daughter. She is in self-isolation mode throughout, as a typical teenager. The simple fact that if she comes out and asks for lunch, it's just, I think those simple things, right? Just to see her so young, so completely, not about not being aware, but not वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में प्रभावित नहीं होना, like it not the COVID situation is not impacting the way that it is impacting us as adults. Like children are completely this thing. Then sometimes when your friends they talk about their children. So yesterday somebody there was just to take a little just to 2 minutes of your time. When one of my friends, she has a 9-year-old boy and son, and I think they were discussing about what is going on. I mean, typically all over the country, and even in Bangalore every day we have a lot of cases. So her son, he's quite, for a 9-year-old, he is quite evolved, or I would say very inclined towards spirituality. So he told his mother that he was not afraid of dying because it didn't scare him, and if it happened to him, then he would probably just merge with the divine. That was his words. So to hear, I think these simple things, not, I mean, I'm sure not all of us are, even as adults we don't talk, but sometimes just to hear that there is this spark of that it is coming out of different people's words, and from such small children or whatever, that you hear the birds singing, you see the sun setting. I think these are opportunities. I mean wherever you're living, I'm sure there's a lot of beauty around also. So I think these are small things that you could probably look at. That's it. Thank you.
I have spent my entire lockdown painting and cooking. And then I felt that when I was painting, I was experimenting with myself on surrender. And I realized that it was not good enough, good enough. So because I would start analyzing the nitty-gritty of the painting. So I then went on to this, what Monica suggested, audio. And there goes Monica in the ear when I'm cooking, and Savitri is bombarding in my head, and I'm cooking. Actually, the food also comes out very good, forget. But you do, after the entire discussion, you do take a break very refreshed. And you feel absolutely new. And now it has become a kind of a habit wherein the audio stays in the ear and I do my jobs. The painting turns out better, or the cooking turns out better, or in general, my reactions are much more calm to others. And what has done the trick? An audio. You don't need a video. And something, a fraction, maybe 1% to 25% to 50% may enter you. But then it pakaus khichdi in your head. You do delve on it. And I feel that the lockdown did, many people crib, our most 80% of people are cribbing about the lockdown that we've gone through. We've gone through a more stringent lockdown here. And the only thing I would say is it's how you take it and look at it. For me, the lockdown turned out to be a real blessing. I was able to read so much on Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I met these groups through Monica. I've been able to connect. My surrender has improved by leaps and bounds because I started to understand and I started to take an active part in consecration. You actually learn to give, because maybe because there was nothing else to do. There was no movie, or there was no visiting, or maybe that was initially imposed on us, but now it's become a way of life that you don't like to interact so much with people or whatever. So I think it helped me a great deal on the path. Great deal. And I'm a changed human being forever. It made me a lot of difference. So for me, lockdown, Corona has been a very positive journey.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Palkar here. Today evening at around 5:15, when I was working, all of a sudden on the website, I went to this website, insider.in, I think. And there I saw this event thing at 7 p.m. today. So I thought, why not join this? Because it's about books and talk and all that. So I just put a reminder of 7, but I know I joined pretty late this day. I'm so happy to hear all thoughts and versions from you all. Such a wonderful talk and valuable talk. You know, I'm into healing and meditation and everything. I'm doing from a decade now. And last year when this Corona thing happened, uh, we as a team, we are organizing meditations every day and few workshops and all everything. And this year again, when this has started, we are into a planning mode to just connect with the people all around and just give them a relief and solace kind of thing, calmness during this difficult time. You know, I'm so happy that Monica, that you are doing this, Anna. And I'll definitely like to join you people again if there is any event, and just let me know where I can connect with you then.
Yeah, thank you for sharing and joining, Jaspalji. So if you drop your number in the chat window, I can share a invite to a WhatsApp group to you, and then you
Okay,
can, I can share all the details, whatever the activities that we do through the week, and you can see wherever you want to join. Yeah,
okay, sure. Thanks a lot.
thank you. All right.
Monica, I mean, I don't mean to play devil's advocate. I just notice for me, I just have this, what can I call it? You're absolutely right. Whether I have my attention on a talk or other beauty, or I have the blessing of a lot of nature, incredible nature, because I live in Austria, so it's just incredible what Mother Nature has around me. And I just, right now, I just am noticing how whatever I can, something on the outside, whether it's nature or whether it's a talk or whether it's mothership and those words even directly, and definitely the words seem to have the greatest power to create a shift. Yet the minute I stop, then there is immediately this, whatever you want to call it, the old habit, anyway, the tendency to go the other way, right, from the light. And that's all I'm noticing, that there's this sincerity, or there's like a flame being fanned that says, okay, even in those moments, right, like, so that it's not just the distraction, which is definitely a positive distraction. Definitely, I think it's worth it. Otherwise, I wouldn't even show up, for example, at these meetings. It's definitely a power to it. It definitely supports, definitely helps. Nothing that I disagree with that anybody has said. And there's this added, I don't know what it is, a hunger or a thirst to
Yes,
go,
yes,
how
yes.
to directly at will, without the prop of something else,
You can,
arrive at peace, right?
Swapna, you cannot. You cannot.
You cannot what? Go to peace directly?
It's not possible. You will have to take help, either of a practice or of things that cleanse, that are cleansing in nature, what audios we were talking of. Why? I will tell you why. There is a logical reason behind it. Imagine that I throw a ball. A ball has been running for centuries. Now you want to stop it immediately. How is that possible? This ball is of our tendencies. This ball, yes, Jaspalji, thank you for joining. I'll share the stuff with you. Yeah. So if the ball, the physical laws of nature, what do they say? The ball has gotten momentum now. It has a momentum. It has been running at a very, very fast speed. And Noah, you are asking, why can't I just be absolutely still? It's not possible. It's against the law of nature. We are Prakriti. Our tendencies, our vrittis, our abusive thinking, it is all Prakriti. All that moves in us is Prakriti. Now you want to stop the movement of Prakriti just like that. How is that possible? How is that possible? So we often talk of satsangat, good company. The baddest company that you can give yourself is of your mind. Check it out for yourself. You would know. what I'm talking of. This is the baddest company. The greater degrees of good companies are art, music, anything that absorbs you. If art and music is not absorbing you, fill yourselves up with words which are so illuminating in nature that you are just drenched wet in those words. Why? Because we have toxified ourselves over eons and centuries, and there is this thick layer of muck on me. This is what we call as tendencies. Now I need an acid to clear off the muck. You are saying I want to do without acid. Nahi hoga. Acid lagana padega. It can be a herbal acid which does not spoil the ecology of earth, but the acid will have to be used for clearing the muck off. Or you remain in the muck of your own self-indulgent thoughts. You don't have much possibility here. And I'm saying with such certitude because the nature of human beings are alike. We are alike. We are made of similar mud and matter. तो जो मेरे साथ दिक्कत है वही आपके साथ दिक्कत है. आपके साथ कोई नई दिक्कत नहीं है. You know, the problems I have, you have similar problems. The stories are different. The stories are, unique. But the problems are same. The mind is same. The emotional havoc is the same. The physical inertia is the same. The abusive churning of the mind is the same. कुछ नया नहीं है हम में. And that is why I can say it with certitude that we will need to put ourselves in words of illumination, clarity, so that slowly, the ignorance fades away. There is no other process for it to happen. Or another possibility is you have a tragedy in your life, so that instant something opens. I opened owing to one tragedy. Jyotsna ji is one example. So we have opened owing to one or the other. One little window opens. It's not that the whole opening has happened, but one little window opens. You become more receptive, more grounded. So wait for that, so that you are absolutely convinced.
Where my mind was going with, what I was calling as not an external source, like a talk or a chat or noticing whether it's parrots or nature. I guess where I was going to is, okay, then there's the intensity of wanting to surrender, the rejection, mother's symbol with all the different qualities that each petal represents, right? Like putting those into practice. So it's not, the source is not coming from someone else's words or even Mother Sherpa those words directly from a book, but I'm talking about, between one task and another, say, right? Even in those 7 minutes, maybe, from switching tasks or getting a drink, going to the bathroom, coming back to the next task, right? The ego and the mind can jump in right there, even in 6-7 minutes, which maybe I'm not going to go put on a talk or find something else. I just have to start the next task. And then I said, okay, in that 6-7 minutes, what do I do? Because here it is, right? Ego vital is just waiting. It's like, oh, you stop listening to that talk, or you stop reading that book. Let me just jump in. And then I go, okay, is that it? That's what I'm exploring, at least in myself, of can I do a deeper surrender? Can I pray more? Can I say that isn't me, right? Niti, all of it. Reject.
Swapna, हम ना क्या करते हैं, the problem that happens with us is we try to latch on to many things at once, and that's why we are not even able to do, we have to actually catch one sutra. Just catch one sutra. The problem with the mind is the mind wants to perpetuate itself, so it will ask, okay, आज एक नई प्रैक्टिस देना, अच्छा कल एक नई प्रैक्टिस देना, अच्छा परसों एक नई प्रैक्टिस देना. क्यों कह रहा है वो? Listen to the trick of the mind. It just wants to perpetuate itself. The mind is saying that I need every new trick every day. This is the dictate of the mind. Give me a new trick. I am bored of the older trick. In one day we get bored. नेति एक दिन कर ली, done. Oh, नेति नहीं होगा. So this is what the mind does. I have to be very observant to the tricks of mind. owing to the fact that it wants to perpetuate the misery. Buri aadat hai, it's stubborn child. It doesn't want to do by itself, but aadat kharab hai. It just wants new tricks every day. You already have all the stuff that you need. I already have all the stuff that I need. We all have the words of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. We have words of Kabir ji. करना क्या है, अपने आप को याद दिलाते रहना है बस. You have to dip it, dip it, dip it, dip it, dip it, keep dipping, keep dipping, keep dipping. Just that is our task. Now if I ask that, how do I dip? Just dip. Find a resource and dip. So we have all the practices, we have all the methods, and no practice, no method can work without the use of it. If I have a guitar and I do not practice it every day, what use is of a guitar? So don't you think we have enough stuff going on there? You can be an observer to your emotions and thoughts. You can decide that, okay, I see the mental and emotional havoc is there, but I am just going to see them. Let us see. I'm going to develop a deeper strength in me. Yes, it's not all clear. Lots of terrorists are there in my territory, but I'm just going to see them all. I'm just going to see them all. Okay, no problem. Let me, go through them. So this is what we do. Anything that comes to you in that moment, resonates in that moment, pick it, practice it. Without practicing, nothing has happened, nothing will happen. No psychic liberation is to be found without practice. Mother ne jo points diye, 11 points for the opening of the psychic. Oh my God, if you look at those points, a lifetime is not enough for that practice. And then we are asking, what more? We don't need more. We just need stick to one sutra like a mantra and just abide by it. Abide by it. Abide by it. That is why perseverance, Mother says, is the first cornerstone on this sadhana, the path of yoga. Perseverance. लगे रहो. अरे नहीं हो रहा, अरे लगे रहो. अच्छा अभी भी नहीं, बेकार टेंडेंसीज अभी भी हैं, लगे रहो. वो नहीं जाएंगे, मरते दम तक नहीं जाएंगे. और वो इसलिए नहीं जाएंगे बिकॉज देखो दुश्मन कब बड़ा होता है, व्हेन इज द एनिमी स्ट्रॉन्ग, व्हेन द अदर पार्टी इज ऑल्सो स्ट्रॉन्ग. We are a very strong party, and that is why our tendencies are also stronger. So we have to tap into that well of divine strength slowly, because the dushman is very, very strong. Ignorance is very strong. Just keep at it, keep at it. We are all at it. Nobody is liberated. We are all at it. In our own baby steps, we are all at it. That's it. And enjoy the freedom that you experience even for a moment. Enjoy it like a blessing. If you say, oh my God, for a moment everything is clear, wow, let me taste it before the other terrorist comes. Yeah, we are all at the same ground, Swapna. You are not anywhere where we are not. Don't think that there is a ladder where some people are higher and some people are still struggling. We are all struggling. We all have weaker points, soft points, which we need to work upon.
Yeah, no, I get your point about, it's just a case of repeating whatever one knows and being willing to do it. And also that tendency of mind to go, okay, the novelty, right? Like seeking.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just be at it, Oh, Nike ka hai na, just do it, just do it.
Yeah. It's like the keeping on with the keeping going with the keeping going kind of thing, keeping on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that becomes fun. This becomes fun. Yeah. At times bothersome also, but at times fun. Yeah. Great. So thank you, everyone. Sorry to have stretched it a bit longer, but yeah, I think it was
It's very beautiful and useful for everyone. Thanks, Swapna, for sharing this. Everyone has the same problem, but the grace is there because in my experience, yeah, only grace made me to read all these things, because my English is not good. I'm not a highly educated person at all. But I don't know how I am reading Savitri and all the works. Yeah, it is all only grace, nothing else.
Thanks for having these, Monica, and yeah, everyone
Thank
stays
you.
safe, all of you in India, lots of people here in Europe, thinking of everyone in India and always saying to me and asking,
Thanks.
how everyone is there and caring a lot. And friends all over the world all kind of reaching out and saying, how's your family? How's everyone there? What's happening? So yeah, just all of you do also hear it from another person. I'm sure you have your own contacts abroad, but it seems like the whole world's heart is with India and what's going on there, and for those that need the most help, yeah, and prayers. So
Thank you.
yeah, my mother's great with all of you and all your families.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Monica.
Thank you. Thanks.